Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I am here at the knitting table at A Good Yarn Sarasota to talk to you about fun stuff that we have in the store. The store is closed right now, so I can go ahead and take off my mask. We have, Susan is still here, but she's in a different space. So she's far away and we can talk. But if you have any questions, she is in the comments there to answer questions that you might have. Thank you all so much for joining us. I know this is different than our normally scheduled time, but you know, something pretty important happened here in the United States earlier in the day, and we wanted to give room for that to happen, and so we thought we could just wait a little bit. And of course, you can always watch this on recording later in the day. So if you are watching this after the fact and not live, hi, I'm glad you're watching it. So, hello, yes, hey Laura, thanks for being on here. It's just, you know, it's a weird day. Stuff's a little out of the ordinary, but things will get back to normal. What is totally normal is that I have so much stuff on this table to show y'all. I am so excited. I have a whole page full of stuff. First off, as always, we talk about our opening time. We are open from 11 to 3, Monday through Saturday. When it's beautiful, like it's beautiful today, you are always welcome to come and bring a chair and sit outside and knit and chat socially distanced, but we are not currently having any knitting inside the store. If you want to see quite a few people, Saturdays are the busiest days for the outside knitting. Bring a chair, bring a beverage, do what you like. Hi, hello, Cindy and Elise. See, okay, I'm glad that you were good. We knew people might be watching something else on their social media or computers or TV, so we thought we'd try a different time. But we'll be back to noon next week. So that's our opening times. We need to talk about classes. So our amazing Carol is starting up. She has wrapped up the building blocks Afghan class, and they have decided they are going to move on to the building in color class. Why did it get so dark? My exposure is doing funny things. So this is the same amazing Michelle Hunter of Knit Pearl Hunter, and it's again the same idea where it's an Afghan made out of blocks, and each block lets you practice. Here, I'm going to show you a different color work pattern or technique. It is really super fun. And like here, so this one has got short rows in it. So as with the previous one, oh, Susan remembered that we have a sample on that. Thank you, Susan. Here we go. So here you can see you've got, and this one they did a band. There's all kinds of fun stuff. This one was done in, oh, it's in strips. It's not squares. This is why she's like, Barbara, you're not paying attention. So it's strips, and so you've got different color work techniques that you're going to work through. And what it is each class will be a different strip. How cool is that? It's very squishy. Each one will be a different class. It's going to continue on Monday evenings. So that is Mondays from 5 to 6 with Carol on Zoom. And it's going to start on February 1st and run until y'all are done. It'll just be, you know, they'll work through the Afghan, work through learning the techniques. It's going to be a lot of fun. It takes 3 colors. We can definitely work on getting that yarn for you. So that is the building blocks in color with Carol on Mondays starting February 1st. Okay. Then we have our Tuesday night classes, with yours truly. What I'm doing is teaching 1 hour classes. 1 hour classes on Tuesdays from 5 to 6. They're to wrap your brain around like one specific kind of thing. We did cast-ons, we did bind-offs. Coming up next week on the 25th, we're going to be covering increases. So we're going to go through, oh, hello Elizabeth. We're going to be going through basic increases, what you have to think about when you're doing increases, and how to work them, and a little bit of theory on why they exist and what you do with them. Then, going into February, on the 2nd, February 2nd, we will be doing a class on decreases, which will essentially be structured exactly the same as the increases class, but we're going to talk about decreases, so that should be a lot of fun. Then on the 9th, we're going to go and do Chart Reading 101. Hi, Joanna. So Chart Reading 101 is going to be a lecture style class where we will talk about how to read charts, how information is communicated in charts, tips and tricks for working on charts. Yes, very good point. All of the classes, you sign up for these Zoom classes via agoodyarnsarasota.com. Click on classes, and there's a registration thing. So we'll do Chart Reading 101 on the 9th, and then on the 16th will be Chart Reading 201. Again, since they're 1 hour blocks, we're breaking them up. The first one will talk about how to read charts, and you'll learn and get it in your brain. And then 201 is actually putting needles to yarn and actually executing and following a chart to do some knitting. So that is the 9th and the 16th. And then on the 22nd of February, we will kind of put all of that stuff together and have a beginning lace class. So that is our February Tuesday nights. Also a reminder that on Saturday, January 30th, from 10 to 12:30, I will be teaching my blocking class via Zoom. It is a super fun class. It is a lecture style class. There's no homework. You just got to bring your brain and, a pen to take notes. And I go through how blocking affects why you want to do it, the tools you need to do it, the techniques used, but then also talking extensively about how different fiber content and different yarns affects blocking, and choosing and pairing the right yarn with the right project to achieve your best results through the lens of blocking. So, oh, I'm so glad you love charts now, Elizabeth. The charts are really, they're just really a very concise way to communicate a lot of information. And when you get into more elaborate lace patterns, and especially colorwork patterns, you're going to run into more and more charts. Cables, again, the more complex the patterns get, the more likely you're going to have charts. Yes, they're all virtual classes. Is volume down? I don't know, I turned it all the way up. I'm trying again. There we go. Maybe on yours, but I've cranked the volume all the way up, and I remembered to flip the camera today before we got started. Hi, Kate. Welcome. Okay, so those are all the classes. Now, I have a project here that Susan is working on that I get to show you. Look at this. Oh, it weighs a ton. Ugh. Look at this. Isn't it cool? So this is a tapestry loom, and this is tapestry weaving. And what you're doing is taking little bits and colors and just doing fun weaving things. You're essentially weaving a piece of art. This is the size it is, and you keep it tense, and you weave really cool stuff on it. You can play with scraps and interesting textures and different weights of yarn, and it is really, tapestry weaving is really, really cool. Here is another, and this is, you can see this one has a lot of really interesting, you can do tassels, you can do fringes, you can do floofy things, and do really neat tapestry weaving. And one of the loom manufacturers, by the name of Mirrix, let me make sure I got that spelled right, Mirrix, has decided to have a free weave along with these very small tapestry looms. And we sent out information via the newsletter, but we wanted to mention it again because what it is that the Weave Along is a free online course. Claudia Chase and Elena Zuyuk of Mirrix will lead you through a project woven on a loom. Every Sunday you will get an email going over what has been worked the week before and giving instructions and tips for the week ahead. You'll be encouraged to ask questions and engage with email and social media and stuff like that. So it is a community event, and what we are encouraging you to do is sign up for the Mirrix event. And then we are also going to be offering weave along elements with our amazing weaver, Laura, starting February 2nd. And it's going to be from 9 to 11 a.m. via Zoom. So you can jump on the Zoom with Laura and work through this project and learn from her. She is amazing and knows so much about weaving. But so this is learning that this is through a good yarn, and then you have the Mirrix, so you can really just do some amazing tapestry weaving thing. And so you're gonna need for it a little loom and a bunch of yarn. Ooh, we got a lot of stuff. Weaving a picture, yes. So you've got, this one I showed you. This is called the Lily Loom. So this is a small one. And we've got a bunch of these that you can get. Well, you probably only need one, unless you want to do work on multiple things. But you can see it's got some really cool stuff that you can weave. So we've got the Lily Loom, and then we also have these small, they're called easel weavers, and we've got the 10-inch and the 8-inch. So if you want to start small, just to get an idea if you like weaving, these are great options. These have little stands on the back, so they stand up. The little black thing pops out and they stand up for you. So if you want to check some of this out and join in the weave along, you're going to need one of these. So give us a call, check online. It is a lot of fun. Okay, and then there was the building in color. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's everything in that pile. And let me check that off. And again, for the weave along for the Zoom, you need to go to goodyarn.com, goodyarnsarasota.com, and sign up so that you'll get the Zoom link so that you can participate. Elizabeth, Susan will get with you on prices. I don't know what prices are of anything. Okay, so, oh, so much. Oh, the mystery knit along has started. It started this week, but we have extended the sign up period, and you can still sign up until Sunday, and then the next clue is going out Monday morning. We got the number 4 kit in and wanted to show it to you. Look, it is just so gorgeous. Look at this. So this combo is, this is called Seafoam Daisies. And look at this color, Electric Shock. Oh my gosh. And that's why it's called the Electric Knit Along. And then we have Cup of Love. So it's absolutely, oh my gosh, beautiful. Look at that. It's crazy. So this is kit number 4. All the other 3 kits you can see online. Check on that if you want to sign up for this knit along. It's the mystery, and remember that this was designed for us, and it is exclusive right now. If you want to work on this pattern and be the first people to do it, you got to do it during the knit along. So that is through goodyarnsarasota.com. Yeah, email for the looms prices. Okay, there we go. Okay, we got all that going down. You can totally call. So much time for yarn. I can't stand it anymore. We have a new yarn from Manos del Uruguay, and it is luscious. Okay, let me make a little space for it. I'm going to show you this. Now, one of the things that Manos does is they have their yarn and they don't twist it. They send the yarn, and I am such a sucker for yarn that is displayed in these gorgeous, gorgeous hanks. Oh my goodness, they're so gorgeous. And this new yarn, I'm going to move these over here, is called Alpaca Heather. Okay? It's called Alpaca Heather. It is hand-dyed, and these are the solid colors, and it's 70% wool, 30% alpaca, approximately 164 yards per 50-gram skein. Okay, so these are 50-gram skeins. They're smaller skeins. I'm going to pull this up like this so you can see the color. Look at this. It's just beautiful, and I twisted the tag in. So this one is goji berry. And it's this beautiful, I would go into a pinky purple range. It's soft. You can definitely see that it's got that alpaca fuzz to it. You've got some longer hairs in here. It's soft. It's a very loose ply. So with the alpaca and this beautiful wool, when you block this, it's going to bloom. And I believe that this was really designed, and the reason why it's in the 50-gram skeins is the idea of using this for color work. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it's really cool. The Manos del Uruguay, and it says the information on the inside is a not-for-profit organization created in 1968 to bring economic and social opportunities to Uruguayan rural women. We are organized in cooperatives throughout Uruguay's countryside where we spin and hand dye our yarns. And it says no two skeins are identical. Each one is unique, and you actually get to know who made your skein of yarn, which is really cool. So this is the goji berry. You can see it's this beautiful pinky purple color. And then we have, this is kohl, K-O-H-L. It's a dark, beautiful charcoal gray. Look at that, so pretty. We've got this gorgeous mustardy gold, which is called honeycomb. And you can see, there's a little fuzz on it. Excuse me, fuzz. You can see that it's just richly and beautiful. And you do have that hand-dyed, you know, slight variance in color, but these are definitely solid colors. And then we've got, I gotta try to keep these nice and neat. This is cinnamon. Look at that. It's, I mean, really the only color I can describe it as is cinnamon. It's this rich gray, but you can see you've got some lighter patches, and that has to do with it being hand dyed. This color, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this color. This is Harbor, and it is this incredibly beautiful, dark, kind of greeny blue. So gorgeous. Stormy weather kind of action. We've got a beautiful bark. So this is bark. I think it's supposed to be in the brown because they're calling it bark, but if it's bark, it's mossy bark because it definitely has a distinct green feel to it. Absolutely beautiful. We have a dark burgundy. This is called Bing Cherry, which is a great name. It's this gorgeous dark burgundy color. Oh, it's such gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. And then this last color we have is called Zinnia, and it is just a burst of red. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Ah, I love this color. Oh, it's so pretty. So that is the zinnia. Need to get everything nice and neat. Here we go. Yarn. Oop, excuse me. Got alpaca in my nose. And then there we do have these 100-gram skeins that are in neutral colors. So we've got beige and we've got toast. I'm going to show you these two side by side so you can see you've got a lighter and a darker neutral. And the idea, I believe, is that if you're knitting color work, you're going to want this neutral background. And so like the majority of your garment is going to be in this neutral, and then you're going to need the little 50-gram skeins. But you could totally just knit with this too, because it's beautiful and neutral. I'm going to put all these back into my tub. I'm going to put all these back into my tub so that they don't get a mess, because I got to get them hung back up. There we go. And it's time to show y'all some of the patterns. So they released new patterns for this new yarn. And we've got, so this one is available only on the Fairmont Fiber site, because Fairmont Fiber is the US distributor of Manos del Uruguay. And this one is a great little cardi, and one's a cardi vest called Janey, Janey. So look at that super cute piece. Oh, love it. And then we have this gorgeous pullover. It's called Hot Haley. That is a classic piece, and I can totally see wearing it in just about any situation. And then we have this intricate cabled called Aubrey. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. I love seeing what you can do with that yarn. And I actually brought one of my patterns that I thought would work amazing in this yarn, and it is right here. Dun, dun, dun. This is called the Scarab Shawl, and it is, so I have a couple of patterns that are designed like this. I call it just the good part, or just the fun part. You know, when you're knitting a shawl, a lot of times you have to knit through a whole bunch of stockinette or garter to get to that lace trim, which I consider to be the fun part. Well, for this, all I did is I have a really long cap and I just knit the fun part. So that is what this is. And it's called the Scarab Shawl. And as you can see, it's long, and I like wearing it. So you put it on, I put it on like this, and then pull around, and so you've got the long tails that you can pull around. But I also like wearing it just, we're back! I don't know what happened. Are you still there?
I think so. I think you're back.
Okay, hang on. Pushing the button. We're back. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but here we go. So I love wearing it like this. It's just this little lacy nothing, but I also like wearing it just dangling down my back. And when I do that, I always feel like, I call it my knitter's superhero cape. And I feel like I should have one of those big long cigarette holders. It gives me a very flapper 1920s feel. I feel super elegant. Or you can just wear it as a little something just around the shoulders. If you're wearing something off shoulder, it can be super elegant, and you put it on like this, and it's just, I love it. So this is the Scarab Shawl. You would need 2 of the smaller skeins or 1 of the larger skeins to knit this. So I'm gonna put it back up here. And just let it hang. And you can see, there we go. Okay, so, oh, you made it and you liked it? Thank you, Julie. How cool. That is awesome. It's always fun to hear that someone enjoyed making one of my pieces. I like knitting them, obviously. Every once in a while I design one that I get almost all the way through it and I'm like, who thought this was a good idea? But when I finish them, I'm always happy. So that is the new Manos del Uruguay Heathers. Absolutely beautiful yarn that I'm super excited to have in this store. Okay, now we have so many cool things here. So here is something that is super fun that we have in the store. This is a magnetic cuff. So it is a piece of jewelry, right? It came in this really, I'm taking it out. It's a piece of jewelry. You just wear it on your wrist, but it's magnetic. And you can see it's got little magnets. And I believe Susan brought these in because look, so you just have this on your wrist, you're knitting along, and watch. There we go. Now you're always going to know, and maybe you have some stitch markers. So anything you have that is receptive to being magnetic, you can use this to hold on to and organize and make sure that you don't lose stuff. How cool is that? So these are our little Cocoa Knits stitch markers, and you can see that they stick beautifully. So this will help you. I don't know about you, but I always start off with a lot of stitch markers and then my couch eats them. Yes, and as Susan pointed out, it's excellent for if you're doing embroidery or sewing. The needles, it's to catch your needles. So it is a great little fun piece that you can wear. And it doesn't look like you're wearing a knitting tool, but you are, and it is super cool. So that is, and we have several different sizes. The reason I'm not putting this one on is because it's the small, and it did go on, but then I had small challenges taking it off. So this is called the Stowaway Magnetic Cuff, and we have them here. I like knitting jewelry. It's especially knitting jewelry that doesn't look like knitting jewelry. It is fun. Now, I'm going to show you some beautiful yarn. So this is the Quere Fibers, and this is precise yarn for persnickety people. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards in the 100 grams, and it is self-striping yarn. This one has 20 stripes. Isn't that amazing? This is the color I Do What I Want. And then we have, this is chromatic. This I think has fewer stripes, but still look at the gorgeous, gorgeous color. And then this one is called Time Traveler. I'm pretty sure that's a Doctor Who reference because I recognize these colors. It's definitely got Doctor Who scarf vibe to it. This one is called Off With Their Heads. And I love the pop of blue and like this light teal in it. Again, all self-striping. This is the chromatic again. And this is Time Traveler. Okay, so look. Super, super fun. Love it. Oh, I just, look at that lime green in the middle. Now, why am I showing you self-striping yarn, you might ask? You know, it's super fun to knit self-striping socks, but one of the questions I get a lot is, what else can you knit with self-striping yarn? And guess what? It's a new book. It's called Knit Happy with Self-Striping Yarn by Stephanie Lotvin, okay? And it is such a cool book. It has mittens and hats and shawls and sweaters and cowls that you can knit with self-striping yarn. So let me show you the back. Right? It has I think around 30 patterns in it, and there's all different self-striping yarns in here, and also most of them are also going to work well. Remember all the minis I showed you last week? If you have a bunch of minis or scraps, these patterns are going to work for you too, and they're just amazing. Obviously the super cute mitts on the cover. There's several other mitten patterns in here. They're of varying complexities. Look at this one's really cool. Look at those. Those are awesome. And then there are hats. The hats are really cool. I really like this one. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Look, so that the brim of the hat is worked sideways and then seamed, and then you pick it up. So it lets the color run of your stripes. And she talks about figuring out how your stripes are going to repeat. It is really cool. This hat here is neat because it's really two hats. So you have the white hat and the stripy hat, and like one is knit inside each other so that it is, here's what the top looks like, so that it is reversible. Look at that. But I'm going to show you the one in here. So there is one specifically, sorry, fiber noses. This one is specifically designed in the Quare this yarn, the Quare fibers, and it's one of my favorite ones. Look at that. It's so cool. And what it is she's using the construction of it. So you knit the center panel and then you pick up and knit one side and you pick up and knit the other side. And so she's using that distance to control how these stripes repeat. It's really cool. But I love this particular cow. You can see a close-up of it. So that is fun. And then I was looking through this. The thing that started her on this, I believe, and this is a really fun pattern, it is called sock arm cardigan. Look at that. So the idea is you knit the body solid and then just use the self-striping yarn for the sleeves. How cool is that? Look at this. How fun is that? It is such a fun way to move these self-striping yarns from your feet up onto your arms. And then the last one I'm going to show you real quick. This I love. I can see this tee in so many different, look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it so much. So this is Knit Happy with self-striping yarn. And we have copies of this in the store right now if you are a self-striping yarn fan. Okay, check.
They're on the website too.
And they're already on the website, so you can go grab one right now. Okay, we have, y'all might start to recognize this packaging. Looky. We have another in the Mindful set, the Mindful collection from Knitter's Pride. And I'm only going to open one of these. So these are full needle sets, stainless steel, interchangeable lace needles. And this, the smaller one is the 4-inch tips. And I'm going to open up the larger set for you. This is a huge set. So you can see what's in here. So it comes in these beautiful little bags that aren't plastic, which I adore. And then it's beautifully wrapped. I'm going to do it gently so I can put it back together. And again, love these cases. They are so fun. Hang on, the little thingy went inside. They have the pull tab on it, and it's this great teal color. It's called the Mindful Collection, Knitter's Pride. And you unzip it, and you have got a notions bag inside, and then your full needle set. So these are stainless steel, and each size has a different thing set on it. It says Explore, starting at 2.5, which is 3 millimeters. It says Explore, and it says Imagine, Breathe, Create, Dream, Rejoice, Exhale, Believe, Peace, Share, Serene, Inspire, Balance, and Awake. So this goes from a 2.5, which is 3 millimeter, all the way up to a 17, which is 12 millimeters. That is a full size. I'm here. It's not saying that I've gone out yet. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully it picks back up for Joanna. But so you have the full set. It's absolutely awesome. And then inside here, you're going to have all of your cables, and these are the fun cables that are marked every inch. And you've got your needle gauge, and you've got the tiny little bag. I love the tiny little bag. Oh, I'm so sorry that I'm not there for Joanna. I don't know, sometimes international things. This is the tightening key that you use to tighten things up, and we've got the end caps in here. So the end caps are great because if you need to take the tips for another project, you just put the end caps on, leave your project on the cable, and it is ready to go. And then there's also stitch markers, removable stitch markers, a yarn needle. There's all kinds of great stuff in here. So it is a all-in-one kind of kit. And then this just fits back inside here, and you zipper back up. Get in there. And you are good to go. Now, I'm gonna read you the details on this. So this is the bigger one, is a set of 14 pairs of interchangeable tips. As I said, it's 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half, 11, 13, 15, and 17. You get 3 swivel cords and 3 fixed cords. And so it's one each, 24, 32, 40 inches, each of swivel and fixed. And then you've got 6 easy to grip end caps, 4 beaded cord keys, a pair of cord connectors to make it extra long, darning needle, stitch marker. It's the works. And then, so this is gonna be the exact same thing, only the tips, instead of being 5 inches long, are 4 inches long. And this is 13 pairs. It doesn't have the 17 in it. I'm guessing they had some difficulty making a very, very, very stumpy short needle the size 17, because that's a really fat size. So these are both, they're gorgeous sets. I love that they're stainless steel. I love stainless steel. You don't run into, so a lot of sets are nickel plated, and sometimes you run into issues with that plating sort of rubbing off, but that, since these are just stainless, you're not gonna have any problems with that. So, beautiful addition to the Mindful collection. Okay. And if you like the short tips or the long tips, you get whichever one you prefer. People like the short, you know what, let me double check something. People like the short tips. It isn't exactly the same. So the short tips, the cables, you can make a 16, it's a 16 inch, a 19 inch, and a 22 inch. So you can make shorter circumferences. So if you're the kind of person who wants to make like a 20, knit something like a hat, this is gonna be your better bet. So, okay. We are knitting happy with the stripy yarn. We've got the gratitude set. And then, okay, here we go. You know what, I need to fold this up. It is in my way. I'm going to wrap it back up like a present. I just love the way they're packaging. You know, thoughtful packaging is really, you know what, no, I'm gonna let Susan do it. Sorry, Susan.
No problem.
I'm making a big mess.
You're probably taking it home.
It is a really nice set. So the other thing that we're going to look at, I'm going to have to flip my camera around. I mean, and what on this table with me is the trunk show. Look at this. I'm gonna get up. So, you know, last week we started this trunk show, and we just have this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn from Suburban Stitcher. So, we've got the Merino DK. Hang on. Let me flip things. Boop. Okay. There we go. I pushed all the buttons. So the Merino DK, 100% superwash, fine merino, 250 yards. This is absolutely gorgeous. So we've got the DK base. We've got the slub base. And we've got the mohair base. Look at this. This is silky mohair lace, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, 459 yards and 50 grams. And then also a fingering weight. This is her sock yarn, 75% superwash, 25% nylon, 460 yards and 100 grams. And all of these that I just showed you, this color is River's Edge. And we've got it in all the bases. And here it is knit up. This is the sample. You can come into store and see the sample. But it is absolutely gorgeous. Then this is La Boheme. And you can see it's a little bit, what is this? And this one's La Boheme. It's a little more speckly on the DK, but it's the same color palette. Here it is on the DK. What is this? This is heavy metal. Look at that. That is gorgeous. There is the heavy metal on the slub. Here is called Clam City. I don't know what Clam City means, but look at that beautiful, beautiful purple. Look at this pink here. Ugh. What is that? Langnap. Gorgeous on the slub. We've got, this is Tango. This is called Rose Doll, I think. There we go, Rose Doll. And we've got the fingering weight and the DK and the mohair. And then this is Recoleta. Gorgeous, and that's on that, and the mohair. Look at this yellow, ugh, with the gray speckles. That is a really intriguing color combo. This is called Yarn Lang Syne. That's funny. You see, it's beautiful. And then we've got this great, if you want to do something in black and white, but it's got it's faintly purple with maybe some little blue in it. You can see what's this color. Sea Smoke. That is absolutely gorgeous. What do we got here? Oslo in the slub. This, look at this green. This is like a mossy swamp. That is the perfect, I was trying to figure out what color this was, and that is the perfect color name. Look how the mohair shines. This has another swampy feel, but lighter, a fancier swamp. Boardwalk, gorgeous. We've got this great natural called Antique. Here's Hurricane, gorgeous. It's just such beautiful, beautiful yarn. This is the silk base, absolutely gorgeous. And then the Tweedy base. And then this one looks like it was popular. I can totally see why. Look at this color. This color is so amazing. It's called Dark Water. Look at that. And what as soon as I saw this, do you know what I thought of? We're walking. I thought this would make a good scarf. Look at that. The color, it's going to bring that variation to it. I think it would make a good scarf if that's something you've been wanting to do. And we're going to sit back down and flip ourselves around. Here we go. And she said that since we had this fingering, we don't normally carry her fingering weight, but here it is in Joy. Look at that beautiful purple. I brought in a fingering weight shawl to show y'all. This is called In a Fish Thought, and it is a single skein kind of thing, but you can knit until you run out of yarn. It starts at the very tip, and it's asymmetrically shaped, and it's just a fun texture that you just knit, and then you've got this great little jagged edging on it. And what happens is, this is the style, if you've ever done something like Hitchhiker, where these yarn overs are increasing, and then after a few rows, you just bind off a few stitches to make these little jags. And then it builds out again, and you bind off. It builds out again. And then this one you bind off long, and you kind of go into it so you're not increasing too quickly. And it makes these great little, I call them teeth in my brain, but it's got these great little things. And the detail about this shawl that is my favorite thing is, you know how the edge of stockinette tends to roll? And frequently what you want to have on, people use a garter edging. To keep this from rolling, I put the tiniest of tiny cables. So the edge, it's cabling right on the edge. And so every couple rows, you get to do this tiny, adorable cable. And every single time I made it, it made me so happy. Because I'm like, look at this cute cable. It's the cutest of cute cables. So it's built in, and you'll look at it, and it looks like it's stockinette. But to make sure that this edge doesn't roll, it also, you can see it from the back, you've got a single purl stitch, which you can really see on the back, you've got the purl stitch and then your little edge, and that is what keeps this laying flat. It is totally like shark fins, Joanna. So this would be great in any of these colors of Suburban Stitcher sock, and it is a fun knit called In Uffish Thought.
What's it called again?
In Uffish, U-F-F-I-S-H, Thought. It is actually, here, I'm gonna put this back up here. It is actually an Alice in Wonderland reference. My favorite books are Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. And in Through the Looking Glass, you have the poem called Jabberwocky. And in Jabberwocky, it said, one of the lines is, and as an uffish thought he stood. So it's just some nonsense. It's some nonsense words. It doesn't really mean anything, and that's part of the fun of it. But when I'm trying to come up with names for patterns, a lot of what I'm looking for is something that can be typed into a search engine, and it's the only thing that's going to come up, and it's not going to come up with a bunch of other things. Like if you type in something like honeycomb or texture or cables, you're going to get hundreds and hundreds of hits. So I just kind of amuse myself by coming up with silly names. So that one is In Uffish Thought. So, okay, let me look at my list. So we have the Suburban Stitchers trunk show that I just showed you. If you want to call in for something, please do. Come in and look. We have it through the weekend. You can come and see all of this beautiful yarn for yourself, see the very cool samples that we were sent, and just have some yarny fun. So I think that is it that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Next week, we will be back at our regular noon to 1 slot. And as always, while we are recording this on Wednesdays, we are closed to the public from noon to 1 so that we can focus on y'all. Yes, it would work great in the Betty shawl too. Susan just recommended. It is a great thing. You all have an absolutely lovely day and have fun knitting, and hopefully I'll see you in some of my upcoming classes. So thank you all so much. Bye-bye.